Harvest and HarperAudio present The Metflex Diet. Burn Better Fuel, Burn More Fat by Ian K. Smith, MD. This is the author. A note before we begin. Don't forget to download the accompanying enhancement PDF from your audiobook provider or go directly to www.harpercollins.com/pages/The Metflex Diet. It contains meal plans, recipes, exercises, and more, and will be referred to throughout as the enhancement. To my mother, Rena, who is always willing to try my new programs and who is always honest in her assessments, as mothers tend to be. I'm forever grateful for all of your sacrifices and support, and, most important, for teaching me how to fight. A note from the author. I've been researching, studying, and writing about nutrition, health, and fitness for a long time. I've personally corresponded with tens of thousands of people looking to improve their diet and fitness levels and lose weight. In many respects, I feel like I've seen and heard it all. However, I'm absolutely certain there's still a lot out there for me to learn, and this presents an infinite number of opportunities to grow intellectually and expand my knowledge base. These yet-to-be-discovered opportunities excite and fuel my desire to keep exploring and creating as I work to help others find answers to health challenges they so desperately want or need. As much as I've tried to understand new scientific concepts and principles, I've always strived to understand the concerns and feedback of everyday people who are hungry to make positive changes so they can lead healthier, more satisfying lives. However, there are some things that have stumped me along the way. One of those things has been the assortment of statements I've heard from many people over the years in reference to carbs. I can just look at carbs and gain weight. Carbs and I simply don't get along. The second I eat carbs, my body starts gaining weight. Maybe you too have made one of these statements or share the sentiments they convey. Well, you're not alone, and honestly, I never fully grasped the underpinnings of these statements until now. Months before I decided to write this book, I came across a term I'd never heard before: metabolic flexibility. It looked and sounded scientifically cool, and I was excited to read about it to see what it meant. After very quickly learning the definition and physiologic underpinning of this term, I thought about those carb statements I'd been hearing for years but never fully understood. Metabolic flexibility addresses the body's ability or inability to switch from burning carbs to burning fats and vice versa. I had one of those eureka moments as the last twist of the bulb finally turned on the light in my brain. What all of these people, and I'm sure millions of others, have been feeling and describing is a state of metabolic inflexibility. It isn't necessarily that the carbs themselves are bad, but rather that their bodies have a difficult time processing them effectively and efficiently. That's why they feel the way they do when eating carbs. When you put the wrong oil in a car's engine or the engine isn't given proper care and maintenance, its performance level starts to diminish, and you eventually begin to feel this operational decline while driving the car. If the problem or problems aren't corrected before too much damage is done, the engine simply dies, and you have a huge, costly problem on your hands. Well, millions of people are driving a car, their body, whose engine, their metabolism, is sputtering and triggering warning lights that are either going unrecognized or being purposely ignored. The Metflex Diet is a program that will tune up your engine so you can not only lose weight, but also operate at peak performance to hold off disease and cover hundreds of thousands of miles of open road before it's time for a check-in with the mechanic. In fact, with this 6-week program,
Sample complete. Ready to continue?